We met when we were 16. We was born on the same day, in the same hospital, on the same ward, and our mums have the same name.
Because I always say you sort of done that internet link first.
Threw me up into the ceiling so hard that I got stabbed in the head.
I remember seeing the air just go down. I thought, I just bought it like this.
Do you remember the first time Dizzy was on the radio? I think he crept up there in the night and he wasn't allowed on.
And the next minute, the door just went...
And I was like, ah, and he's got the knife on my neck.
Yeah, that was the major thing, because they wanted to make an example of the station.
Go and do a show on Radio 1, or let's go on Choice FM, and we'd be like, fuck this shit, let's go back to Rinse. I don't remember the day that we met. I think I remember the day that I was on the estates and we knew that Pressure FM was on our estate.
Yeah.
And someone pointed you out because you entered our estate.
Daniel, innit? Damage.
Yeah, it's
Brains.
St Paul's Way on Bedette Estate. And for some reason, someone in our lot clocked that it was you going to do your show, and we followed you to the studio. And that was pre-knowing you or knowing anyone on any station then, do you know what I mean? So I don't remember when we first actually met. Do you remember?
It was on Pressure, but I mean, it was at Bucky's house, I think. I was already on Pressure, I think, and then it was up Daniel's house, and then you might see me go up there in my record bag, but I think we probably met at Bucky's house when you come up with Rico once, and then you was on before me in the morning from 11 to 1, and I'll come on after you, but when you come off, I turned all the levels up. Yeah, remember on Equalizer?
About to get me in trouble.
And then I turned them up, but you got the blame for it, I remember.
yeah, you didn't say nothing. I remember it was Pressure was in the Manor, and you was on there, and we followed you, and I remember listening to the radio. It used to play the other side of Suburban bass tune, Stamina.
Yeah.
And I used to think it said
By
Slim.
That Dream Team.
Yeah. And I was just a DJ on the estate and that, and then Curtis Smiler.
Oh yeah.
One day said to me, we got to go somewhere, get your records. So I got my records, and I went with him, and he took me to Jamie B's.
Oh yeah. Wayne Bow. Like
Yeah. And
Bruce Road, innit? Bruce.
Yeah, and it's on the top floor, and I remember we knocked on the door, and I was like, where are we going, and that.
There's a gate on the door,
The gate on the door, and I went in, and it was like Jamie and Sam, and the dog.
Judge.
And I went in the living room with my records, and there was like bare people in there, and I think he was in there, and it was like Moo and all of them lot just jamming in this living room, and the TV's on, and the decks are there, and there's this little radio on the side, and the mixer, the MRT-60.
DI was there, weren't he? Remember?
Yeah. So and I think I probably got there at like maybe 11 o'clock at night or something, and used to always be up there chilling. I remember you'd just be up there jamming and that, but I was on at like 4 a.m. or some shit.
Come up early. I remember.
So you had to get in by a certain time to do the graveyard, and
once you're in.
Yeah, and that was it. It's like a last one in, and then I'd just be locked in, and I had to sit there and wait in this room with bare people until like 4 a.m. And
you didn't mind though, did you? Because it's like, I don't know.
Nah.
Be a bit wary, but.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird. I'm in some geezer's house that I knew from the estates that was like one of the older lot, and he was from a different estate, and then
Wages,
it's from Wager. I remember sitting there thinking, all right, yeah, cool, it's all chilling, and I was just sitting on the sofa, and Smiler was talking to some people and what's not, and then I remember it was like time for me to go on. Do you know what I mean?
Nerves, isn't it?
Sweating, do you know what I mean? And I never had 1210s then, or 1200s. I had some decks called Pro 150s, and I went on the decks, and I remember putting the first tune on, and I think it was DJ SS tune, the reverse one.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
I put that tune on, and then I put another tune on to mix into it, and I'm like, all right, get your shit together. You know what I mean? You got this. And then I was picking up the needle, and my hand was shaking. I was like, oh shit. Put the needle on, put the mix in, and then I thought, right, yeah, so it's going out of time, and I pushed the pitch control, but the pitch controls was the other way round to the 1210s that I had. So I'm trying to speed it up, and it's slowing down, and then I'm like, oh mate, I was clanging it out. I was just like
nervous,
you know what I mean? I was there mixing for 2 hours, and I remember turning around at some stage, and it was like half the room was asleep. Do you know what I mean? A few people just jamming, and the dog was just laying on my feet. And I'm trying to mix, and I've got this dog laying on my feet. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, and I want it louder, but it's like 4 a.m, so it's turned down so quiet. And I was
you can't turn it up.
Nah,
try to turn it, you can't do it.
Yeah, that was my first memory of going into pirate radio.
Yeah,
and And I remember from there, it was like, all right, from then we would have met. And I'll tell you a time I remember, I think it might have been in a Damages house where we was in there and me and you had just become friends.
Yeah, but that state,
And then we was up there with Beanie and Mega and them.
And Gary.
Me and you went record shopping and shit and bought some records. You took me to
Total Music?
No, you took me
Core
to
FM,
you took me to some. It was far away then. And
Reading.
Tonic was on.
What, Lucky Spin? North
Spin.
London?
Yeah. He took me there. We got Babylon.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's like so far away from me. We went all the way to like
Holloway Road.
Holloway. I mean, now you think about it, that's only round the corner.
I know. It seemed it seemed like miles away.
Yeah. But you took me there, and we got some tunes and that. And then I remember we was in the radio, and like we just become mates and that. And I was like, cool. But I remember we was in the studio, and Casper come in, going into one. Do you remember?
Yeah, and then there's a little argument.
He was switching, and I was like, oh shit, it's popping off in here. He was arguing over something to do with you and the records or something, because you and him used to share records.
Yeah, we had a bag and we used to share the records, and I think he had them, and I couldn't get them for my show. So Beanie was going mad. He put his arms up like that, and they looked like they just touching both.
That was the first time I see them arguing, and I was like, and it's true, when Beanie was like, his arms so long, I was like,
it's both touching each wall, like you said. You know what I mean? I was worried.
Yeah, that was a good studio. But I think it was from then when it's like we started probably becoming friends.
We started talking, innit? Yeah, I got booted off Pressure FM because I had some dubs or tunes, and then they were saying, oh, I'll kick him off, but I didn't know, and then I heard about it afterwards, and they booted me off, and I was heartbroken. I remember, like.
I remember when you spoke about it when we was on the radio, and I'd done my show when I got upgraded. So what did I have, the 10 o'clock show, and you had the 12 o'clock show, or did I have an earlier one? I can't remember.
You had the earlier one.
Yeah, but you was on after me, and
I think we used to do Friday and Saturday sometimes, didn't we? Because we used to come on weekends.
Yeah.
So we pay our subs and get 2 shows out the week.
I can't remember.
Every weekend, £20. It was I think £20 a month.
Yeah. Anyway, I remember coming up there doing my show in the morning, and you was on after me.
What, in the Jamie B's house?
Yeah, Jamie B's house, and no, actually, it was in Bucky's house.
Yeah,
in Bucky's house, and you couldn't turn the stereo up, so you turn all the graphics up on the mixer, and then Jamie come in switching, and he is like. And he was switching on me because he thought
I was back to back, me and you in it, and you played Papa Love, and I went.
Yeah, you put all the graphics up and that, and then
trying to do it to turn it up, anything to turn it up because it was so low.
Yeah,
Sunday morning, I remember it.
Yeah, and then Jamie was coming in and he was switching on me. And
I remember him come up,
and you were just sitting there quiet, and I was like, oh shit. I'm like, but then because I'm argumentative, I was arguing back, being like, well, I don't know why we're on these shit times anyway. And there's a DJ on there, I think it's called Ren.
He was on before, innit?
Yeah, and I was like, he's shit anyway. Why have we not got better times?
Yeah.
And then it was like. And I think that was the beginning of like, oh yeah, shit, we got the sack after that. Yeah, it's funny how timing went, because when you look at it, we went on the journey of, all right, we met when we was basically 16, near enough, and then in that space of that period of we went on Pressure, we become friends, we got kicked off of Pressure.
Yeah.
So then, and it's probably a disheartening moment when we got kicked off, because it's what we dreamed of doing.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, and then you went on chilling, and then I was trying to figure out what to do. And within a few months, we had started Rinse. When you think about it, seems like a really long period of time, but actually that all happened within a space of a year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
And I remember getting, I think it was Beanie and Mega originally that called me to say, we want to start a station.
Yeah.
And they asked me to be, they said, look, we think you'd be good at managing and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I don't know why, but maybe I'd give off the impression that I like to kind of like help navigate shit. Do you know what I mean? And then I remember sitting down and it was like, all right, how are we going to do it and what's not? And I remember Fury.
Yeah.
He went and got the transmitter, or is because of
big one, wasn't it?
Yeah, his dad. And then I remember you being like, all right, we got to figure out how to do some shit. And then you spoke to Safi.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then you got him to take us to the tower block.
Priestman Point 3 flats.
Yeah. And then he basically showed us the setups and all of that shit.
Yeah, I remember he come to my house and we went to get some aerials, and we just got some old dry cleaning clothes and we was cutting it off to use the aerial, remember?
Yeah.
And then...
It's funny that I remember he had us out nicking broomsticks and shit.
Yeah, we used to nick broomsticks
What the
and
fuck
for
are we
the
on?
aerial to tape them up. We used to go to Thompson's down Roman Road.
Yeah.
Me and you done it, I remember.
Yeah.
Buying about 8 broomsticks, taping it up.
Yeah.
3 flats early one Saturday morning. And just getting up there. Because them times it weren't so hard getting up there, was it? Like it was...
No.
Like it was like the latch was always sort of open, and it was FB then, weren't it? So you weren't
the
on
easy
top
days.
for radio, like really in the 90s.
I guess the beginning of the rinse thing was we got the transmitter and that, and then one of my mates, Jay, his brother Stuart, just got given his flat right behind your house, which was random.
Coincidence.
Yeah, and I convinced him to let us put the studio in his house.
But yeah, that one. I mean, we put the decks in the kitchen and then aerial out the little window, sort of thing on the TV aerial. And then you should get up, and they were the days because penthouses like were quiet in it. You couldn't make one bit of noise, but we didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then you got up and then sort of, put the coax over, then the aerial and all that. And next thing you've thrown the whole lot over. Like I thought, what's going on here? Like,
what it is, I remember clearly. I went up there, and it's the first time I've been on the roof on my own. And it's like, all right, gee, up you go. And I'm like, all right, sweet. Pack my little backpack, and I've got the aerial and the transmitter and all of this shit. And I've gone on the roof, and I'm up there, and then I could hear noise. So then my bums fell out. I'm like, oh shit, what's gone on? I think it's the feds.
It's like downstairs. I think there was like you thought it was the police or but it weren't. It was they was coming in because it was penthouse. You can hear everything.
I swear it was a pizza delivery or something. And I remember lobbing everything over the building.
Yeah, I remember seeing the air just go down. I thought I just bought it. Like it was going all the way down, all the 21 floors, where it was 20 floors. I think we done it at the window for a little while, and then we was only going that one way. Remember, like transmitting one way, like towards Hackney.
I think it was. Did you phone Troy or someone and be like, "Can you pick it up?"
Yeah, and he was in Hackney, but I think he was just lying, weren't he?
Yeah. But you couldn't hear it around the other side of the building.
No, it wouldn't go around the other side towards like Bow bit, but it's going that way.
Someone asked me that I was doing an interview, and they said, "How did we learn how to do all of the stuff?" And I was saying like we spent a lot of time together, and. People don't realise the amount of time we'd actually spend together to do it. I'd be like the times where we'd sleep at your house or whatever and be like, right, and have the radio on full blast.
Yeah.
And we programmed ourselves to be, if the radio's on, we can sleep. And as soon as it goes off, we wake up.
Yeah, white noise.
Yeah.
If you hear that, it's...
Even now, I find it difficult to sleep without noise. Sleeping in silence is quite alarming for me. Do you know what I mean?
It's always good to have something on in the background.
Yeah, but I guess we spent most of them days training ourselves to be like, if the music's on full blast, we can sleep. As soon as there's white noise or silence, something's wrong.
We used to set rinse up and then go back to my house and listen, like put Call on, like you know what I mean. Like the station was on, we listened to Call FM, like
DJ
Ron SL and
Ron SL. Yeah, don't tell him that. If
no.
He'd be like, I knew you was my fan. I think it was our second studio, your bedroom.
Yeah, second studio. Yeah, that was like when we had the first link.
Yeah.
Paul from Kilburn. That's when we started getting link boxes and stuff like that, and we used to go there in Kilburn. Remember, I can remember his number now, his phone number, and then we used to go to his bedroom. They'd play the guitar, and he had like, all transmitters all around the house. I thought, what's going on here? But his rigs used to bang out. I remember, but they were sproggers, but they was going far. Yeah,
I had to explain to someone else what sprogging was the other day, and the time we was going over Call FM's frequency.
I remember that on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and it's like, oh fuck, we was giving it the big one, and then the next thing, we was off air. They took our transmitter.
Pressure X was on. I remember listening to it. It was off. I was heartbroken. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Did they know that was us though? I mean, I know it was us, but I mean...
Yeah. I said to them not long ago, I said to this man, come on, just admit it, you took our transmitter.
It was them, yeah. We know.
He still denies it, but I'm like, come on, bruv. You can say it now, it's all right. Do you know what I mean? When we put the radio in your house, your mum and dad didn't know about that?
No, they just... I was just thump tunes anyway, didn't I? Remember when we had that big speaker once?
Yeah.
And then we was playing, we was doing the mix.
Open the window late at night.
I done the mix with Beat Stinking Nasty and that DJ Die tune.
Yeah.
Remember? And it's thumping out of some big speaker. Neighbours were banging on the door. Like, then we turned it down, got little speakers and stuff.
Yeah.
And
You'd always be like, all right, have the radio in your mum and dad's house. And
yeah, they didn't know, did they? Like, people just coming in and out. Like,
be like, Dean, dinner. He'd be like, oh, shit. He'd be like, turn it down a bit, I've got to have my dinner. He'd be like,
I used to get tyres and all little food, like they used to leave on stairs, didn't they? And
little packed lunch and that. Yeah, I remember it used to be like sneak everyone upstairs.
sneak everyone in,
do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Roy B, like Plague, remember? Some of them, like people early,
Yeah.
Wayne and little Gary.
What other studios was there in Bow?
Whitey's house.
Oh yeah.
Just been loads, really. Like, them times, just Whitey's house and then a couple squats in the Fever Walk. Sharky, remember Sharky? Them houses, you can thump tunes because the walls are like that thick.
I remember it used to be like, we'd be in his house and it'd be like midnight, it'd be ram out, and we'd be in there playing tunes in the living room. He always used to be in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And he'd come out of a Ribena and he's be in his pants.
Yeah, you
And
got
be like,
50p.
"Come on, guy, you got to get us fiver." You'd be like, do you know what I mean? I remember
was
you
thumping
hyping
it.
him up, and next thing there's Ribena all over the
Yeah, I
ceiling.
remember that,
And
yeah.
all like,
And then I was playing that Dodder Records tune, remember?
yeah.
And then it was a foggy night. You climbing up, you know, on Fever Walk, and you got your ring caught, remember?
I was hanging by my ring off the thing.
That was another little like story when we went there. But yeah,
Why did we get on there? Was that to link?
we put the main area up there once.
Bet we weren't
You
going
done it.
before.
You put it up there because you had to get up there. It was all caged off, but you climbed up out
The outside.
It was quite hard. Like they were the early days.
Yeah.
We've had loads of
I
studios.
like that studio, the Fever Walk. It doesn't
Good, innit?
exist anymore.
No, that's shut down.
It's just knocked it all down.
That's where you know that geezer, what's his name? He made that tune. I Can't Get No Sleep. They filmed that downstairs from there.
Oh, is it?
Didn't realise at the time, but
It's funny because you go past it now and it looks quite nice, and when you look at photos of back then and that, you see it, it's like it looked grim. Do you know what I mean?
It was
It's
rough
like-
then, but we used to just go around trying to break into squats and that.
Yeah.
And then you used to come round on the skipper, remember? And we used to get on the back and drive around.
Oh yeah, the moped. Yeah, that's sick. And then we had the radio in Wiley's house, and then I remember wiring up his electric. I used to do the thing with the electricity where I'd bypass the actual meter.
You put the white and red
I'd be
thing.
like red to red and just bypass the whole setup. And then was you there when the police come?
Yeah, because he got caught. He nicked a bike, and when it was, he didn't bring it back, so they come back to search his house, and the horn was out the window, so they think, what are you doing here?
I
TNT
think
was
Esty and
there.
that was in there, and it was like the police was touching
Yeah.
the horn, and it was like going,
Yeah.
and they didn't know that it was radio, and was like, but they took his whole electric box out.
Because of that.
You know, the thing is it's really funny that they took his electric box out, and then
Was it because he didn't pay the meter or something?
no, because I wired the thing up,
Oh,
they were
so
like,
he-
we're stealing electricity.
Oh.
And then I remember I said on my Facebook as a story, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, one time I'd done the electric in Wiley's house and that, and you know what happened? His dad was the first person to comment. I didn't even know he followed me. He said, I wonder what happened to my electric. And I was like, oh shit.
He used to work for BT.
Yeah.
And
And they didn't have no electric for months while there was an investigation going into them stealing electricity. And then I tried to do the same thing in. Do you remember when I tried to do it in
Holly Street?
Holly Street, and it's like I think it's me, you, and Plague.
There's another squat where you broke into.
Yeah.
And
That
you
was-
flew back at me, or remember saying
The colour system there.
it
When
was black and red, wasn't it then?
No, it used to be in Tower Hamlets. For some reason, it was like red, black, black, red, and I'd just connect red to red, and I'd be like, right, the electricity's for free now. And in Holly Street, it was just black, 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 and I was like, well, I guess it's just end to end.
You just guessed
And
it.
I stuck the wire in and the other wire in, and it just blew me across the room. And do you remember, because the flat's then, the meat was there, and then I went down the stairs.
Yeah, that was a
And
sick
then-
studio, that
yeah,
one.
and I remember you and Plague being like, freaking out, do you know what I mean? I was like, I can't see or anything. I was like...
That was like the Fever Walk that state. That was quite, all squats and that.
I didn't really like it when we weren't in our own area.
Yeah. When you're out of it don't feel too right, does it?
Yeah, I remember setting up, we used to always set up the radio with milk crates, get the green milk crates.
Yeah, from the shop.
Stack them up, bit of wood across. And I remember we had a studio in Holly Street, and it was in the night and we had to go somewhere, and I think we had like a red light in there, and it was like really moody, and I was just like...
It felt a bit weird.
Just pranging out, do you know what I mean? Being like, this is a bad vibe. Every time we went into Hackney, I was like, fucking hell. One of the things when we was young is that we was the young station, and I guess no one really wanted us to succeed, and when we got mugged off quite a lot, and people would take our shit all the time and that. But we was resilient, and we persevered, and whilst we was the little ones, we never give up, and went through a lot of different things, being robbed, being held, being a lot of things happening too, but we carried on going.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We had Nesbitt
House, that's in Homerton.
Do you remember that?
Yep, yeah.
Remember when there was someone knocking on the door?
Yeah, I told you about it, and then you just was on the phone. I said, look, there's someone at the door. It's a bit weird, but he keeps knocking at the door. And I knew something was up, and he kept, 5 minutes later.
I was on the phone to Plague, because you was telling me about Plague, something's going down.
I knew something was going on, because someone kept banging the door, and I was going, and the next minute the door just went... And then before he done it, we just kept putting, I put my money in my sock and hid my keys and roof keys and all stuff like that. Remember,
I went into the end room and I was like, right, I'm going to hide in here. And there was...
in the front room you was, innit?
There was some DJs, I think it was Sus One and
Troubles
and Troubles and that. There's in the DJ room. And I thought, well, I'm going to hide in this room at the front, because there was 2 front doors.
Yeah.
The first front door flew off and I thought, fuck.
Yeah.
I got to hide. So I went and plotted up in a room. Thought I'm going to hide back down here on my own. Next thing, the second door flew off. You come running in the room with me. I'm like, fuck.
Everyone was hiding behind the door, wasn't
You had some geezer behind you. He had some massive afro. He looked all fucked up, and he had some, I swear, in my mind, it was like a sword.
It was a knife.
And I was like, oh, we're dead. We're definitely dead. And you run past me.
Yeah, I run to the front
room.
room.
I'm like, nah, I'm in freeze mode. Fuck, what do I do? And he grabbed me, and I was like, and he's got the knife on my neck, and he's saying to you, get your money out your sock.
But how did he know? That's what I'm saying. It's definitely a setup.
And you were saying to him, yeah, it's over there, and he was trying to walk out the door.
I was in a state. I was thinking about getting out the window. That's what I was thinking about.
You were saying to him, no, the money's over there. The money's over there. He's got this sword in my neck. He's holding me up. And you're trying to leave, telling him the money's over there. And he's saying it's in your sock. And you're saying, nah, it's there. And then you left the room. And he's dragged me out. And then we've got to the room where the DJs are.
Yeah, that was the middle room.
And he's like, open the door. And I'm saying, open the door, guys. It's all right. And it's like, it's not all right. And I remember they opened the door and they hid behind the door with the light off.
The light on.
I'm like, it's a small room.
Yeah.
Of course you're behind the door. And then he
said to me, take the decks down there, remember? He said, take the decks downstairs or carry them, and I got some my little
He said, get the decks in that and take them outside. He helped me out the room. You come out of the room with a little tiny radio.
I couldn't be giving the decks away.
I remember he smacked it out of your hand, and then he put the knife back in my throat, and I was like, please, just give him the stuff. And then you went back in the room, and then you weren't coming out. He took me in the room, and you was head first out the window, 3 floors up. And I'm like, you're going to fucking die, you nut. I'm trying to pull you back in. Then he's telling me to unplug everything. And I remember clearly, because you always used to do it. You would wire up all of the equipment into one plug socket.
You got shocked, didn't
but you never put the backs back on.
Yeah.
So he's telling me unplug the thing, and I'm like, there's no back. And he's like, unplug it. I'm like, I just grabbed it. And I'm like, I'm getting the worst shock of my life, because I'm touching the main socket, being like, okay. And I took the plug out.
I remember that 4-way extension lead.
Yeah. So, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, we're fucked. The gee's going to stab us. We're dead. But thankfully, just before the door come in, I had got hold of Plague.
Yeah.
So he's on his way.
Yeah,
next
downstairs, wasn't he?
Yeah,
or
next
something.
thing he burst through the door like Superman. And I was like, oh shit. It's
going to go off.
It's going to go off now. Do you know what I mean? And then they went outside the room, but we stayed in the room. And then you could hear all banging and banging and banging. And all of a sudden the geezer come back in sweating on his own, and there's no Plague. And I'm like, oh my God, Plague's dead.
And he's been stabbed.
Yeah. And then we carried all of the stuff downstairs.
But I remember, we went into the next woman's house, because...
Remember banging on the neighbour's door.
Yeah.
That's it.
We got in there because DTI was downstairs. Remember, we got a studio raid.
Such a weird. That's such a weird.
It was like a double whammy. Like both things was happening at the same time, but we didn't know, did we? Because
we left our records there.
Yeah, Long Dark Tunnel. I remember on White Label, and then it was in a little crate. Remember, like records all shining by Smokey Joe. Tons of tunes.
Yeah.
So they've took all the stuff, but left the records.
Yeah, we carried the...
The Ling box was still there, though.
I always say that, I always think about that as karma, because actually we stole them decks.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, we thought we'd smashed it, and then we got robbed, and I was like,
that mixer was sick though as well. And yeah.
But it's like it's
Come back on you.
Yeah,
you learn.
Something I learned then is like, actually, you know what? I don't want to do that again. Do you know what I mean? And we didn't do it in such an aggressive way. It was quite peaceful. We just stole a couple decks back then, but. I ended up with a sword in my neck, and you was trying to jump out of a third floor window. And
I was gonna do it, but
I was getting the worst electric shock of my life while a crackhead was sweating all over me, holding me by my neck. I don't even know that woman she was brave because
she was next door because
was banging on her door, and
she had a kid there as well, like little young baby.
I remember being in the room in the house with them. I'm like, lock the gate, and she's locked the gate, and then we can see all these people going past, and it is DTI. And they're trying to raid our studio after we just been robbed. I'm like, right, it's like everyone's come at once.
That's weird.
But again, I'm like, every time we ventured out of our own area,
something always goes funny.
It always went sideways.
After a way,
A lot of people ask me, and I always tell them, but I can never remember the day. But we switched on Carnival weekend in '94. I never know what day it was.
Sunday.
Yeah.
And then we had the little red phono lead, remember? The skinny one, and we set up in the kitchen. Was it? I can't remember. It was mixer. I know it might have been an MRT them times. Yeah, because I didn't have 1210s. I couldn't even afford them. I remember them. Like, I think you had the silver ones first.
I had Pro 150s, and then I managed to get one 1210, and I used to mix one 1210 into a tape because I couldn't have two decks. Be like, mix into a tape, then play another tune and mix into the tape.
That's how we started learning it.
Yeah. But I don't know how we got the first set of 1210s for.
You had them. I remember you had two silver ones. Seriously, you had them, and then you know they was like £349 or £69. I remember, like in up Tottenham Court Road, they was expensive.
I took when I got the first one. I took Beefy with me. Remember Beefy?
Yeah.
I took him to Edgware Road because I couldn't carry it. So
is that where you got it from? Yeah.
I got one.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I made him carry it back for me because I'm like, we got to get a train,
box.
and I'm like, we got to be able to get there with the money, not get jacked. Get all the way back to the manor with this big 1210 in a big box.
I remember them boxes.
Edgware Road was like the mission then as well. But the first day we switched on,
on a Sunday, you know.
Yeah, and put the aerial out the window.
Yeah, on the television aerial, stuck it on that. You know, just didn't know what we was doing. Just put wires everywhere. Yeah, it was all
Transmitter
humming.
Was under the mixer.
It's all humming then, wasn't it? Like all mad, weird stuff was happening, and big, heavy black transmitter.
Remember the old geezer from upstairs switching?
Yeah, the old boy over there. He come down and went.
He was banging on the door. It was like
banged on the door, and you said, "Oh yeah, we'll do it." And then the Irish geezer, I remember you, because it was going through their TV, wasn't it? Like the aerial was transmitting sort of through their telly.
He said he was watching the rugby, I think.
Yeah, so when he was going out, he could see lines or hear the music coming through the telly and was like, oh, we didn't know.
He looked up and it's like, you've put the aerial on his aerial.
Yeah, can't do that, did I? We didn't know, did we? But they were the times, you know, like 18th, well, it was 18th floor, wasn't it? Yeah.
So I was saying that the other day, someone asked me.
It was the
like,
18th
sure
floor.
It was the 18th floor.
Yeah, it was right 2 away from the top, yeah. And then you could run a wire out the window, and then we should put the aerial on the other aerial was up there, the CB aerial, remember?
Yeah.
Because we used to talk to other stations, or I did, and then someone said, oh, it's an aerial. There's an aerial down Roman on top of an aerial, CB aerial, but I know it's a pirate, but I didn't want to tell him, but it was us lot.
Yeah. After that tower block, I think we used...
British.
We used British.
There was 2, wasn't there? That was the first link. When we ever linked, that was British. That was the first one.
And is that because it was near Christmas time, and I remember we went off or something. There was something wrong with the link, and you went there, and I think I was either downstairs or at the studio, and you called me because I think we had fucked up everyone's TV in the entire tower block.
It fell down. The wind. It's windy. Remember?
Yeah.
So I've actually put it up next to me. Man's come up going mad, like so.
What was I saying?
As he's come up, I've gone down. So I've locked him in. I locked him in the door? He was up there. And I'm trying to put the aerial up, and he's come up because it's banged on the top of his ass.
Yeah.
And then he was downstairs with Troy. I remember.
Yeah.
So I've gone down. He's looking round. And we've locked him like up in the thing, and he can't get out. He's banging, trying to get out. Yes.
Geezer on the roof. And then there was the other block where no one lived in it. Is one of the ones they blew up.
What?
There was
Louis house
between your house and Wiley's house, where the pink blocks was. There was
there was 3. Cavern house. Yeah, there was 2. There was
Oh yeah, there was 2 of them. Yeah, and
3 altogether, but Whitey's was the pink block, but before the pink block.
And we went up there, and you lot couldn't get up there. I had to go on my own, and I remember Beanie or you both of you
Pushed
threw
you
me up there.
And you jacked the little sidebar
Yeah,
up.
yeah, but this thing smashed in the top of my head. You threw me up into the ceiling so hard that I got stabbed in the head.
And pushed you up like that on the thing.
And I remember I was all fucked and that. And
Need
I was like,
stairwell, innit?
Yeah, and I got, you get through the little thing. And I got up there.
Dizzy.
Set up the station. Went home.
Yeah.
Didn't feel good. Went asleep. Woke up the next day. Looked at my sister and she's screaming. It's like I had all blood under my skin, under my face. Remember? And then it was like
I remember saying happened, Rod.
Yeah, and it was like somehow I had burst something,
blood vessel,
and it was blood all under my skin, in my face, and that. And then I went to hospital, and they was like, first of all they thought I had meningitis, and next thing I'm in the hospital, and then I'm like, it might have been because I banged my head. Do you know what I mean? And I remember you and Beanie and all of them being there, and I'm just like in the fucking hospital bed, and it's like everyone's looking, I'm thinking, oh fuck,
the big bandage around your head.
Am I on my way out? And it's do you know what I mean? I'm like, actually, it's you lot. You just threw me in. There's a giant gap, and you threw me straight into the fucking roof, and the thing stabbed me. We had loads of things like that where it was, lots of things went sideways.
We just used to leave the rig on through the week, didn't we?
Yeah.
You remember them? Like, and then white noise would be on.
Yeah.
Like Cavern House down Rome near Whitey's, and then in a week, one day we'd be listening, and then it go off on a Monday. You know, like we didn't know, but detail lock it off, and we used to put it in a little drain in the bag. Remember?
Yeah.
And you left it just dangling, and like anyone could just in the chute bit. Remember, you just left it in a blue bag because I remember the bag. And then I used to look at the bottom of the chute from the bottom of the floor, and when I looked up, the bag weren't there, so I knew it was gone. So yeah.
What was your favourite studio?
There's all different ones. Free Flats was good when we had, a bit later down the line.
When we built the box, because
that was a good one.
We got that Irish geezer. We paid him to go home.
I remember you and Doug.
We cleaned him up and that. Got him. We took him somewhere. Got him some clothes and that. Bought him a ticket and stuck him on a
train.
Stuck him on a train and a boat and sent him off to Ireland to see. He said, and we met him. He's like, I just want to see my mum one more time. We was like, I mean, we spent quite a long time with that geezer, and I was like, all right, let's actually help him. And
yeah, and then you just got him a ticket, and then we just overtook his house and built a thing in his bed, in the front room, like a big box in the box sort of thing.
When that studio on what was that TV show? It was on one of them like
what with the MC?
Like Britain's worst council flats or some shit. It was called. It was like and they went in there.
Oh yeah, do you know why? Because when we used to rig up there, we used the scaffolding bars drop down the pipe.
Yeah.
I just used to drop them. I didn't realise.
You blocked up the whole drainage for about 100 flats.
I remember. Yeah, they just fell down. And it was a heavy, big scaffolding.
I tell people about it sometimes, and people can't grasp it. But a scaffolding pole is quite heavy.
They are heavy.
Yeah, and we used to clamp maybe 4 or 5 of them together. And what was they? 10-foot poles or
8 foot maybe.
8-foot poles.
That was heavy. That was all rusty.
And then it'd be me and you that's got to get them up in the air. Do you know what I mean? And it's like trying to balance it, not to let it fall over the roof. There was one of them where.
Do you remember that time as well when you nicked off the New Badet Estate that big aerial? And I said, look, it's an aerial, and you got over there and then took the aerial off, and massive pole, and we walked it to Free Flats. Remember?
I just chored.
Yeah,
I just nicked the whole thing.
That was the biggest pub what I've ever seen.
But is that the
aluminium? That wasn't scaffold. It was aluminium.
We put one up, and I think it was might have been with Deja, Colin. And
that was the biggest one I think I've ever seen.
And then we come back. There was a storm, and we come back, and it was hanging off the edge of the building like that. And we just went there, like that. Took our transmitter out and left. It was like
it's too heavy to take down.
Do you know what I mean?
So you couldn't even take it down.
That was dangerous. That setup was a bad one.
But there was other studios, other blocks.
I like Cable Street.
Cable Street.
Good time there.
Cable Street as well.
Cable Street was good. I liked Swayton Road.
The blocks, Gayton.
Yeah, when we used to get down the air vents.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Put a little backpack, little torch on my head, crawling down the tunnel.
I remember. You was all dirty in there, innit? And then because you started doing it, and then one night after, I can't remember, I just done it as well. When you get in here, you have to get through a little thing, like a little pipe, aluminium pipe thing. It was a little hole, and then crawl down to the bottom of the concrete at the end.
A lot of people ask me this. how did we get so successful back then? And I'd always be like, the thing that we was obsessed with was always being on.
Yeah.
And back then, whilst a lot of other stations was on, we was so passionate about what we was doing that we wasn't doing it for money.
Yeah, we just love, innit? Just,
so
like, just to do it.
Any amounts of money we got always went back in, and it'd be like, how did you always manage to be on? I'm like, because in all honesty, all of our money, every bit of our money, personal, from the station or anything, went into making the station good.
And we got an advert once off a pizza shop. You got it.
Yeah,
£20 or £25 we got for the weekend. And we got a free pizza, I remember.
Yeah.
Played it once over the weekend and we just took it off.
They got a little change. I think the thing around us being consistent and always on, and it would always be the thing. I remember a few times with you, it'd be like, all right, we go on the roof. And I think we've done it on Louis' house where, all right, sweet, we both got arrested. We got caught up there.
Louis' house, yeah?
Yeah. And we'd always have the thing around, all right, the agreement is whoever gets out first goes and switches the station back on.
Yeah,
So
got caught a few times, didn't we? Three flats as well.
And I remember when you got arrested, when they done the big studio raids, while they had you and I was out, and because when they raided your house and they found loads of stuff in your house.
What?
All of the decks and all
what,
of that.
the Asbo one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I got nicked that night, innit? And then my mum phoned you up, and then we was in North London somewhere, remember? On another little
Yeah, when you said you was me. When you got caught by the police and you said my name.
Yeah.
I
was like, what are you talking about? I was just trying to think about getting away. Like,
yeah. But
they didn't even though I had the keys on me, they just gave the keys back to me, the girders and stuff. They didn't even know what they were doing. They said, oh, well, you can have that. I thought, all right. And Sterling was downstairs in the car. I think Aubrey used to...
You know that, because that night was a funny night, because you had the ASBO and you weren't allowed on the buildings anymore. And I convinced you to come on the building. Now we go North London, it's all right.
The hill, innit?
Yeah. That was like, it'd be sweet. We're going to have them lot downstairs watching. Nothing's going to go wrong. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, and then we get up there and we
That was another penthouse.
Yeah.
You can't make no noise.
We built the scaffolding poles. We got this big aerial.
We made a wicked aerial coaxial.
No, it's so neat. And I was like, this one's going to bang. And I'm like, we're back on the roofs together. And then we get the aerial up in the air. It ain't in the hole yet. It's just up in the air.
It's windy as well that night, I remember.
And then the police come down the road and you just fucking run off. And
I see them downstairs coming into the little court.
I had the aerial on my own. I'm like,
I was actually thinking about getting down the hatch because they was coming up as we was going down.
You run off and I dropped the aerial. I couldn't hold it. So I dropped the aerial. It must have been like smash. This big aerial's fallen down. And I got down and I thought, where the fuck has he gone? I don't know if you've hid. So I can hear that. Listen, I can hear.
I think we was trying to run down together.
No, it was you. You was pegging it down the stairs, and I'm like, he's running down the stairs, but they must be coming up him.
We didn't realise. I tried to hide in a little doorway, didn't I?
I'm running down the stairs. Slim, stop, Slim, chasing after you, and then you stop on one flight, but you're running in this little square, backwards and forwards in this, and I'm like, where you going, you nutter?
You tried to hide in the door, innit?
And then you run off again. I'm running after you down these stairs. Next thing, we've gone round the corner, bang, straight into the old bill. And they're like, what are you doing? And you're like, and then you said my name. Who are you? You said my name. And I'm looking at you being like...
You don't realise what you just want to get out, like, you'd say anything, didn't you?
You said my name, and then I'm looking at you like, who am I? What name am I going to say?
What, your first name?
Yeah, you said my full name, and I'm like...
Oh, yeah, I remember, because we got nicked, didn't we? Oh, did you get let off or saying?
No, and then what happened is that you started saying about you had to buy someone some trainers. You were just saying any random shit.
I can't remember this bit.
And I was like, I don't know what you're saying. And then they said they're going to search us. And then you lifted up your sock and you had a wad of cash in your sock. And they was like, why have you got all this money in your sock? And you're like, I've got to buy someone some trainers. And I was like, oh, we're fucked. And then they nicked us for burglary because they thought we was out there robbing houses.
It was in...
And then they put us in the police cell.
You got out early though, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
There was a geezer caught with a gun in there and he was going mad.
Yeah, we got and I remember really clear, we got put in the police station and they put us on a bench.
Oh, shit.
And now what it is, because understandably, you're shitting yourself because you're not allowed on the roofs anymore. You've just been given something that says don't go on the buildings. I've managed to get you to come on the building and now you're like, I knew I shouldn't have gone on the building. So you're like, I don't feel very good. Yeah. And you're like, I think I'm having a panic attack.
Oh yeah,
and I was like,
shouting out, crying.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, we're in this room and there's this geezer looking at us. He's hench. He's like that, and I'm like, he's having a panic attack, and then, and I swear on my life,
I think I got off of it quicker, didn't I?
They give
me a phone call. That's it. They give me a phone call for the doctor or something. Or
you said to them, I need a paper bag. And they give you this big paper bag. And on my life, I swear you put the whole bag over your head. I was in tears. And I remember the geezer was there, was laughing. And I remember
the geezer, he was nuts.
Oh, mate, I was killing myself. And then they put us in the cell. And normally, we'd been there for 2 hours or something. And on my life, it felt like it was going on we was in there for about 14 hours. And they brought Ofcom. And then we got interviewed, and I was like, "Fuck!"
On that night, yeah.
Yeah. Oh. And I remember it was the next day because I was like,
to go straight to court that day, you mean?
Yeah,
because I had Gazbo before that, innit?
Yeah, I can't remember how old we was then, but I remember your mum come to the police station, and I was like, "Why are we in here?" And I was banging on the door, and I remember they put us in them paper suits. Yeah. They took all our clothes off us, and they give us a paper suit to wear, and they give me the same size paper suit as you. And I'm walking, and the arms of the paper suit are dragging along the floor.
Oh,
and I'm like, you're mugging me off. This paper suit is so big, it's unbelievable. It's all the feet's dragging along. And anyway, they've put me in the cell, and it's cold. And they're like, there's the blanket. They threw me a blanket. They threw me this smelly blue blanket. I'm not using this blanket. Oh, my life, half hour later, I was wrapped up in the blanket tight, just like that, in my paper
cold
suit.
I had a blue one.
Yeah, and then we got interviewed the next day.
Morning, innit?
Yeah, and then it was Ofcom, detailed, and I can't remember what happened after that. But after that I think that was the last time you come on the roof with me.
Yeah.
And then it was like...
How long was the court case? I mean, was it going on for a bit? Because I remember going to the... afterwards, innit? And then...
I honestly... It felt like it was going on forever. And whilst you was going through it, I was trying to keep the station on, which was really difficult because I was doing it with Sterling, and Doug's was helping a lot then. But it was quite difficult to do it without you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you couldn't even come to the studios. So and we were setting up on all different tower blocks, and I think there was a period where it was like, I think we lost something like 13 transmitters, one every night for 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean?
That was the major thing. Cause they wanted to make an example of stations, and you couldn't even. That's when Girder was about, and they wanted to take everyone off. Detail would come out 24/7. Remember, the people would come in them TV vans. Not DTI, the TV people would come, and then they would inform the DTI, and then they would take the aerial.
I can't remember what year that was, but we had such a journey of learning how to set up, and we'd be obsessed with it. All right, how do we make the best aerial? Soldering the coax. If we don't do it perfect, we just do it again. We'd spend all of our time doing this, going to like the shop in East Ham to buy the aerials, or
the Utter shop.
And having all of that to be like, right, we're actually the best at radio now. Do you know what I mean? We're the best station, we're the biggest. And then
always back on when you got it, even if it was...
Yeah. But then we went through the thing around, all right, at a key moment when we was doing very well.
What, 24/7 you mean?
Yeah, we went through that, and then you couldn't be a part of it again. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Which was... difficult for you.
It's hard,
it's difficult for me. Do you know what I mean? And we couldn't proceed to.
It was hard. It was a hard time for Pirate. Yeah, I know. I remember.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like I'm like, all right, cool. All right. The station's big, and all right, we're now we've gone past the stage of pay as you go, and now we've had all of these great experiences and that. But now, the thing that we cared about the most, because I remember when we'd be like, oh, let's go and do a show on Radio 1, or let's go on Choice FM, and we'd go and we'd be like, fuck this shit, let's go back to Rinse, it's our own thing. But then it was no more. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't come on for a long time.
Yeah, I remember like a bit after when I did come on, like I think it was on a Sunday, and then the studio was in the red containers down near the Blackwell Tunnel bit. That was the first time I come on. That was a bit later, you know. Maybe I can't remember, but yeah. Because I remember, like, you know, even the later times when, because I always say you sort of done that internet link first.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you sort of figured out a little internet dongle things. Like you could link anywhere. Like, you know what I mean? So that was hard though. That I remember doing it, and I mean, like when you about 4 midpoints, like and all going to weird. I remember coming out once.
I know everyone thought I lost my mind for a minute because I was like, right, and as I say, I went and bought all the little Apple iPod minis and that from the Apple store, and I programmed them all to have loads of shows on, and then I plotted them up in all different flats, and I had a link going from the studio to another studio, and going from band one to then to microwave, and through the internet, and then we had this little spot over in Bow.
Barney by Bow.
Yeah, above the
what do they call the FM studio? Used to be,
it's above like the cash and carry for sweets and that.
Yeah, I remember. You took me there as well. I remember.
Yeah, and there was an internet in there. All we had was an internet and a
computer
and a little
horn,
Mac Mini or something, and a horn.
Yeah,
and we used to pick up the radio from there, and we got some geezer to program because we used to play it through iTunes, the radio. And we got some geezer to make some software for us that kept pressing play because we had a problem where it kept stopping.
Yeah.
So we had an automatic trigger to keep pressing play.
They were the first times of the internet link, innit?
Yeah.
It would link. It would trans. I mean, it would link, and then it would just cut off. Like, you couldn't hear the audio. It would go silent. Yeah. That was for even
that
for
was that studio. You know about, and I'm like, that was when I was like obsessed with how do we make it so we can't get in trouble again. And that there was the first time that we had no illegal equipment in the studio. Do you know what I mean? And that was the kind of change of us being a pirate.
That was like the major step up, innit? Times.
Yeah.
But
it's complicated though. Do you know what I mean? Internet was shit then as well. It'd be like dial up and that. It'd be like, oh God, the internet's gone down again. It'd be like about 1 meg upload speed. Do you know what I mean?
I remember you had that app on the phone as well.
Yeah,
you could sort of control some things from it.
Yeah, the iTunes thing and that. Yeah, we'd be like and it'd be like the radio's gone off and we figured out a way to do that. But I guess the thing
went so quick. You don't realise all them years, like like when we're doing it, it just goes quick. Like I know it seems long, but it's just so many things we've done before that.
Yeah, when people ask me to talk about the journey and that, it's like what I say to them. Like we jump backwards and forwards because it's really hard.
Different times, isn't it? Like, even when we climbed out of 3 flats, remember? Me, you, or we hanged you over first in the squat, remember?
Yeah, I know.
When Beanie was there, that was...
Yeah. I can't remember whether the first time I done that, did I have a rope around me or did I just go straight over?
I remember, I think you had the rope.
Did you come over with me that time?
Yeah, the second time I did.
I go first, test it out. Yeah, I remember going over and going in and de-locking the transmitter to the toilet.
Yeah. Because I remember you had to squat a window, and then you nowhere else to put it, and you put it to the window. I mean, you burn the toilet bit, the back, the white bit. But yeah, that was a squat. Remember that on the top floor.
Yeah, I went over the side. I remember you come over, but I do remember there was this one day we was up there, and I think they blocked us from getting on the roof, and that shit was up there. And you climbed through this little window, and I don't know how you got through it, and you climbed up. Yeah. And I remember looking at you being like, Slim, don't do it. And you was out this window upside down, like Spider-Man.
And
I was like, 100% you're going to fall. And we're 24 floors up. There's no rope. It's just me and you. And you're adamant that you got to get
someone was up there.
Yeah. Who was it?
Pepper.
Oh, yeah.
He said he was trying to see if the rig was up there to help us. Maybe to help the rig, but you know what I mean, someone blocked the roof. I remember the hatch in it.
He couldn't get up there.
Yeah, so we got out the window, climbed up, he didn't know, like, it's like freestyle, he didn't know where you're going, so he's doing it as you're doing it, so it's a bit scary, but we used to send, I remember the lift shaft as well, like, done a few lift shafts.
Yeah. Do you think, with the pirate radio stuff, do you think, like, because we don't have pirate radio anymore, we still have radio, but do you think everything that's going on now would be going on without it?
Without pirate, you mean?
Yeah.
What, back then?
Like, if we didn't have
all
pirate
the music
then,
will get this far,
think,
or what we used to, like, pirate really was a main thing, like, innit? Everyone used to listen to it. It was like network, like, it's just part of, it's like a hobby, but it was, people used to listen to it, like, for tunes and stuff, and crews, or, do you know what I mean, like MCs, and it helped the music out big time, I think. Without pirate, really, I don't know, like, what would we be doing? Like, don't know, like, it's like helped every lot of people, innit?
It's funny how we have it, bro, but nowhere else in the world has it.
No, I think Spain do a couple like back in the day, but they're not big stations. They're just.
We would have like 100 stations,
Yeah.
one after another.
There was loads then, innit? Like there was London Underground, Deja Vu, like
Yeah.
you know, even like old stuff like Impact FM, Touchdown, stations from Deflection.
Yeah.
Like from 92 and that 1992, and we used to listen like to hardcore then, innit, and stuff.
Yeah, it was interesting times. It's funny how many, because people talk about how many people have come through Rinse, and I'm always still now obsessed with like what's next and new, and still have the same drive, and so do you. You're every day you're texting me is like, got new music, got this, and I'm like, I think one of the things we always had was a passion for the new shit. We've never been stuck.
Always thinking about what's next.
Yeah, and we still carry that, but. It's funny when you think back around the talent that come through Rinse and from the beginning, like
the people's careers and stuff, like, you know, DJs, MCs, radio. It's mad, isn't it? Like, all the talent, like, you know. Yeah. People say there's stations in South, North, but Rinse, like, you know, is definitely got something special and hard work. Like, it's just loads have come through it, loads of Dizzy Rascal, why, you know what I mean? People like that.
I remember, do you remember the first time Dizzy was on the radio? He was like...
Drum and Bass, was it a Jungle Soul show, was it?
I think he crept up there in the night and he wasn't allowed on because you have to
late,
go for a
1 to 3, innit?
Yeah. And I'd always be the moany one, so I'd go up there and be like, get out, and no one's allowed on. Or, I mean, if there's someone to tell someone off, it'd always be me on the front line.
Yeah, you always tell
be
him.
Like, geez, Mona, I'm like... But I'm like, I was one trying to be...
I was the good, used the bad one.
Yeah. Always it'd be like, we like Slim, he's nice. And he'd be like, geez, she's always... like rude and aggressive and that. And I remember Dizzy was on the radio at 2 a.m. and I was like, get off the radio. Do you know what I mean? He snuck on.
I think he was doing a jungle set. I think I can't remember.
But you I mean, it's good because we had the process around. All right, how do we get talent? And we'd always have we call it A&R now, but. You would listen to other stations and we'd see what's going on your station. And Wiley was quite a key person in bringing up the next generation. It'd always be like, there's this new kid, he's good, we should pay attention. And I remember with Dizzy, you would have had he would have brought him and it's like, we like him. But I'll be like, he's got to follow the process. The process is, you start here, you do this, you earn your way up the ladder. Do you know what I mean? But he moved through it quite quick, and then you took him under your wing and took him to Sidewinder.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
With Mark Lambert and that, and done a couple of shows. With
And I think that is a really important part of our journey. Do you know what I mean? It is building up that.
Even Pay As You Go, isn't it, as well? Like
People always, because I say Pay As You Go, it's because it's so far back that people don't know the importance of that period of time, but for me, that's the time where we changed from garage to grime. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I always tell people it wasn't on purpose. We didn't sit there and make a plan. We planned strategically to put us and Target and Maxwell and all of them together because we was kind of the original Rinse. Yeah. People still going, and I think you having a Sunday show with Plague. 8 to 5. Yeah, originally Plague and Paco, then it was Plague.
It's double P, innit? Before that.
And then you went on to Plague and
Major Ace.
Major Ace.
And God's Gift was...
Yeah, floating about.
Yeah.
And then there was something wrong with the actual phone lines, so it became the Pay As You Go show. Do you remember 1 to 1, the network would be down free calls and that. And then Pay As You Go started getting bigger, and then we kind of ventured into, all right, let's focus on this. And I remember spending quite a lot of time trying to make the strategy and all of that around that.
Because I remember you used to make tunes, like, remember, on your PC, like Pay As You Go ones, and and I used to play them in race, like Battle with the Stations, remember that?
Yeah. I made the 8-bar tune that changes from tune to tune.
You was the first one, you was the first one to make the first, remember the first one? Yeah. With Shy Effects at the beginning, like Chopper, then Dilemma, then, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you played it on Reaper. In was it Powerhouse or EQ?
EQ. Oh, was it the one at South London for DA? Them people, Pipey and Lally. I remember playing there. You was there once, and Saul West was there. Yeah. And then quickly, I played it, but it was so low. I had to turn it up because, like, when you made it, we didn't know about mixdowns then, did we? All stuff like.
Clue.
But yeah, I made another one, Don't Smoke the Reefer, another one.
A bootleg, I Don't Smoke the Reefer.
remember,
I sold it to Rhythm Division.
Mate, you got £500 in about one weekend.
Yeah, and then they sold so many of them, and I was like, I didn't mind because we went and bought the Akai sampler.
Yeah.
And so I could make more
2000
tunes.
XL, innit? Or,
Yeah, 3000 it was.
3000 XL, yeah.
But it's a bootleg, so we're not meant to know. But I put a Pay As You Go tune on the other side.
Yeah, that's how they knew.
It's like so obvious.
Decline, innit?
I was like, oh shit, sorry.
It's quite bad then, but yeah, you know, it's just.
Yeah, it's alright.
But yeah, you sold, mate, that weekend, Mark, you know, he shot at them white label, pressed them up, he pressed them because he got like a little deal with Freddie. Got them within a day, 500 I think, or 1,000.
We've had I always say it's, through our journey, it's been hard work, but we've had a fortunate time.
Yeah.
Like we've managed to do all of the things we liked. We grew up listening to pirate radio, then we made one, become the biggest one, and we managed to build a career out of it. Do you know what I mean? And
it's mad, isn't it? Like, it's just, yeah, it's all like we've come like we've done it. Like other stations will be on, and then they ain't really done. But with us, we're quite natural. Like we've done well out of it. I mean, like
I think
don't mean
if you start from like an organic place and it's what you care about, generally my thing is it should work, and I think that we've had
hard work, like loads of.
Yeah, I mean, still now I'd be like I don't think none of us are scared of doing a bit of graft. Do you know what I mean? And I think that if you do it for the right reason and you put the work in, and
it pays off, doesn't it?
Yeah, and regardless of money and that, we come from a place where there wasn't no money, so anything we got was a result.
Yeah.
And I think when you have that type of outlook in life, we would see it as all a positive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We wasn't basing it on stacking money in a bank and that. We was basing it on we love this.
It's just more just to do, innit? We didn't realise about money then. We didn't know about it really. We just wanted to DJ.
Yeah.
And be on air and just get about.
Anyway, it was it's been a long it's been a long journey, 30 years in, and thankfully we're still here. I meet with a lot of people and everyone tells me about the hottest new thing and this is going to be massive, and I watch it and I'm like, I hope it does well, but I'm like, the graft is not a joke, and we've watched a lot of platforms come and go. Do you know what I mean? Not just radio stations. I mean, in our time of doing our small thing, we've watched Yahoo come and go and MySpace come and go.
Yeah, remember that MySpace.
And fucking more radio stations than I can think of come and go. Do you know what I mean? But we managed to still be here, and 30 years in.
Can't believe it. 30 years.
Yeah,
like.
we're still here, and you're still on rinse, and I'm still figuring out the tech shit. Do you know what I mean? Which is. It's mind-blowing. Another thing I was going to say is a lot of people, what they don't realise is another random fact is that we met when we were 16, and and we met on radio, and it took a minute to figure out before we clocked it, but weirdly, we was born on the same day, in the same hospital, on the same ward, and our mums have the same name.
And we both had a little
same scar on our chin. And I'm like, that is like, you couldn't piece that many things together. Be like, all right, on the same day, all right, or in the same hospital, all of them things. And I met you 16 years later and we started Rinse.
And then we got Ericsson's on the birthday, remember? 388.
Yeah. But I'm like, you can't, I'm like,
there's something about it.
Yeah,
like,
I don't sit there and think, oh, there's this, but I'm like, that can't be a coincidence.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? There must have been a reason for that shit. Do you know what I mean?